This is VOA News. I'm Scott Walterman. Niger has given the U.S. ambassador to the country 48 hours to leave, the news agency AFP reported on Friday. The U.S. State Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Niger's military rulers on Friday also gave the French, German, and Nigerian ambassadors 48 hours to quit the country amid escalating tension over the threat of military action from the bloc ECOWAS to reverse the coup. The ultimatum against the French envoy was quickly rejected by Paris, which repeated it did not recognize the military ruler's authority. The U.S. Federal Reserve may need to raise interest rates further to cool a still too high inflation rate, according to Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Friday, promising to move with care at upcoming meetings, as he noted both progress made on easing pricing measures as well as the risks from the surprising strength of the U.S. economy. F-16s were sent to intercept a civilian aircraft that strayed near President Biden's vacation spot. More on this from the Associated Press's Ed Donahue.
The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, said the aircraft entered temporarily restricted airspace near Lake Tahoe. The crews of two F-16s fired flares to catch the attention of the pilot, and it was escorted out of restricted airspace without incident. A Coast Guard helicopter also took part in the intercept. A Secret Service spokesman said on X, the site formerly known as Twitter, the incursion was not of protective interest and had no impact on Secret Service operations. White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton added there was no impact on President Biden. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The Kremlin on Friday rejected allegations it was behind the plane crash that is presumably have killed Yevgeny Prigozhin. This is VOA News. Former U.S. President Donald Trump arrested and charged a fourth time, this round in the U.S. state of Georgia, where he's accused of trying to change the way the state's votes in the last presidential election turned out. Now, while he's been able to use the moment to fundraise among his faithful, he may be hurting himself in the long term among independent voters in key swing states like Arizona. Here's Reuters correspondent Jillian Kirchner.
So my name is Mark Clark. I live in Arizona. I'm basically an independent voter. I voted for Trump in 2016, and I won't vote for him in the future if he is the nominee.
Reuters spoke to self-identified independent voters in the crucial swing state of Arizona, which Democratic candidate Joe Biden snatched from Trump by a razor-thin margin in 2020. If Trump wants to take back the White House in 2024, he needs to win back independent voters here. But some, such as 77-year-old Mark Clark, tell Reuters Trump's false claims about the last election,
a rigged election,
make them less likely to support him in the next one.
Based upon all the evidence that we see, he's delusional. And I don't want to give anyone who has delusional characteristics 4 more years of presidency.
Reuters correspondent Jillian Kirchner reporting. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says Australian and Filipino forces backed by U.S. Marines are conducting a combined amphibious assault exercise.
This is our continuing effort to strengthen our capabilities and to have a closer working relationship with the militaries of our neighbors around the region.
Foreign poll observers on Friday said Zimbabwe's presidential and legislative elections failed to conform to regional and international standards, placing in doubt the credibility of the vote. This Monday, it will be the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. President Joe Biden will be there. More from AP correspondent Sagar Magani.
The Oval Office meeting will come exactly 6 decades after President Kennedy hosted King the morning of the march. King later gave his I Have a Dream speech at the Lincoln Memorial before as many as 250,000 people. The landmark demonstration was the impetus for Congress to pass civil rights and voting rights legislation in years to come, before King was killed in 1968. This year's commemoration comes with voting rights being eroded nationwide. Sagar Magani, Washington.
More news on our website, voanews.com. I'm Scott Walter.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.